For years, governments across the world have claimed that social media is dangerous when it challenges authority. Sometimes they say it spreads misinformation, sometimes they say it threatens public order, and sometimes they use the biggest phrases of all, national security. But here is a question India must ask today. When does protecting national security end and protecting political power begin? Listen to the full report on the latest update on the Cockroach Janta party.
The founder of the viral online movement, the Cockroach Janta party, has now moved the Delhi High Court after the group's X account was blocked in India. According to reports, the centre acted after inputs from the Intelligence Bureau raised what were described as national security concerns. Think about that for a moment. An online satire movement, a digital protest platform, a group using humor, memes and sarcasm to express frustration over unemployment, rising pressure on youth and lack of opportunities is now being discussed in the same language normally reserved for threats to the nation. The movement itself was born after remarks made by Chief Justice Surya Kant, where unemployed youngsters were compared to cockroaches. The statement triggered outrage online. Later, the Chief Justice clarified that his remarks were aimed at people entering professions using fake qualifications, not ordinary youth. But by then, the phrase had already struck a nerve, because millions of young Indians are angry, not necessarily because of one comment, but because many feel unheard. That frustration exploded online. Within days, the Cockroach Janta party gathered millions of followers, especially among Gen Z users. Many of them were not joining a political organization. They were joining a mood, a feeling, a protest wrapped in satire. And that is what makes this story important. Governments can block accounts. Governments can remove websites. But can they block public frustration? That is the larger question. According to reports, the X handle was withheld under Section 69A of the Information Technology Act. This law allows the government to block online content in the interest of sovereignty, security, and public order. Now, legally, the government has powers under the law. Nobody disputes that. But democracy is not judged only by legality. It is judged by tolerance, especially tolerance towards criticism, sarcasm, and uncomfortable voices. Because satire has always existed in democracies. Cartoons mocked governments. Comedians mocked leaders. Writers mocked systems. That discomfort is part of democratic life. The worrying part here is not just the blocking. It is the message being sent. If a youth-driven satire movement can suddenly be labeled a national security concern, then many young citizens will begin asking themselves a dangerous question. Is criticism becoming illegal? And once citizens begin fearing criticism, democracy slowly becomes performance instead of participation. What is even more striking is this. The more authorities try to suppress the movement, the bigger it seems to become. International media is now covering it. Opposition leaders are reacting to it. The founder claims he and his family have received threats. Whether one agrees with the Cockroach Janta party or not is irrelevant. That is not the real issue anymore. The real issue is whether India is becoming uncomfortable with dissent itself. Because dissent is not anti-national. Frustration is not anti-national. Satire is not anti-national. A nation becomes stronger not when nobody criticizes it. A nation becomes stronger when criticism is allowed without fear. And perhaps the biggest lesson from this entire controversy is this. When millions of young people suddenly rally behind a satirical movement, the real problem may not be the meme. The real problem may be the pain that made the meme relatable in the first place.